What is going on, guys? How you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about 4 different strategies. If I get into the screen, 4 different strategies that you can use to build your DJ business. Let's get into it. Boom. What's going on, guys? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Scott King. Run a DJ company over here in Orlando, Florida, www.djsorlando.com. Also, check this website out, www.coachscottking.com. I'll be switching over to the new design that I made in Go High Level here real soon, so stay tuned. Very exciting, all the different things I'm learning within Go High Level. But today, it's not really like a Go High Level video. It's more like, what can we do to help you be the cream of the crop and stand above all the competition that you may have in your market. So there's definitely a lot of noise in the DJ market, a lot of music, a lot of rumble, so many different things out there, right? So basically you can build your own brand using these strategies. I know they work because I did it. So basically, in a world where anyone can call themselves a DJ, true talent often gets lost without proper marketing. So sad. But you have me here to help you. This guide will help show you how to build a brand that ensures longevity in an oversaturated market. I swear, I went and did a Google search. You know, how many DJ companies are there in Orlando? It was 450 or something like that. And it's like, well, how can you stand above the rest and be the one that gets the booking, right? So are you a hobbyist, or is this something that you do full time, right? So it all depends on, where your dedication's at. So basically, I'm looking for people that want to be independent and take the job or take, the career full time versus like, standing in the whims. Don't let these opportunities pass you by. In fact, grab as many opportunities as possible. And the camera keeps zooming, which is kind of exciting. All right. So basically, you want longevity in an oversaturated market. We can make that happen. But, it's all about, wanting it, going through the steps and staying true to the plan and being able to adjust too. That's another thing too. If you're able to go out there, maybe you make a decision that's not favorable, how well can you recover from it and then go down a better path, right? So just keep that in mind. Go down to the next slide here. Of course, move my head over here. I love these AI generated images. It's so fun. All right, so the unregulated industry problem, right? There's no barriers to enter. Anybody can call themselves a DJ, right? You could just get a Spotify playlist and put it to a Bluetooth speaker, and then boom, there, you're a DJ. So DJing requires no licensing or certifications, allowing anyone with basic equipment to market themselves as a professional DJ, regardless of skill or experience. That could be an issue in a market. This creates a market flooded with weekend warriors competing against career professionals, making it increasingly difficult for venues and clients to distinguish quality versus someone who's just getting started. So just kind of keep that in mind, that you want to set yourself as a professional, because when you're sitting down with clients or even running from club to club to club, somebody wants to hire somebody that's going to be there, someone who's going to do a good job, and someone who knows what they're doing, not just someone who passes off like they know what they're doing, because there's a lot of people out there that do that as well. So just kind of keep that in mind, that there's that out there, as well as 400 and some odd DJ companies, right? So move my head there. Look at that. All right, over here, perfect. So basically, professional versus hobbyist, right? Career mindset. Define yourself as a career professional with a business approach, not as someone who DJs for fun on the weekends. So you definitely want to set yourself as I do this, and this is what I do. Even in my sales calls, I say that we're not weekend warriors. We're full-time DJs, and that's just what we do. And up next, we have, craft a compelling story about your journey, right? All the different things you've done and all the trials and tribulations that you've had to overcome in order to be where you're at now. Notable venues, right? Major events that demonstrate your commitment to the craft. So again, people like to know that you're serious about what you do. And if you're going to seriously show up to the event on time and make sure everything happens the way that it's supposed to happen, and that you're going to do a good job. And I call them badges, right? How many badges do you have? What are things that you've done to, earn where you're at? Because I don't know, in the military, I think as soon as you accomplish something, they give you like a stripe or something. So where are your stripes? Where are your badges? You get some more flair. Where's your flair? All right. So, consistency messaging, right? So highlight how your years of consistent performance translate to reliability. And then I also have another video that explains, the buyer types and what kind of information these people are going to want to listen to, depending on the buyer type. Then that would be the spiel of information that you give out if you're writing the right calibrating, if you're asking the right calibrating questions, right, to find out what kind of buyer is in front of you. That's a whole another video that I have on the YouTube channel. So just keep that in mind. So also highlight how your years of consistent performance translate to reliability, which that would be a security person who'd want to hear that, right? Something clients value above all else when booking entertainment. Not all clients. And if you go back and watch that video, some clients are more, in awe of your prestigious events, right? If you worked at a theme park or did a big corporate event or, did a cruise or flew across the country, prestigious clients want to hear about that, right? Security clients want to hear about what I just covered, right? Like how many years you've been in business, how many events have you missed, what's your longevity? Are you going to be there for my event? Security clients. Now, a lot of people have this, concern, yet depending on the person in front of you, it's like, well, where is that concern on that list, right? All right, so up next, boom, strategy number 1. Put my head over here. So educational content, super important. You want to make sure that you set yourself as the professional because you know so much about the craft, the career, that you could just educate people who may think they know what they're talking about, right? Like clients like, oh, you're just standing up there pushing buttons, right? Well, no, not really. We got to make sure that, the levels are set, that the gear's functional, that you have backup equipment. You can just educate people on how much they actually don't know your world, and that will give them some more empathy. I actually had one client that was like, oh, what's going on at this time? Why do you have so many people at this event? And it was more like, well, if it rains, I've got extra hands to move things around to make sure everything's perfect for your big day. And they were like, oh, like, yeah, that's just how it goes. And when you're sitting down with whoever you're sitting down with, there could be any type of concern around the whole spectrum, right? So as long as you're asking the right questions, you can get to the heart of whatever they may be thinking and then, nip that in the bud as soon as possible, right? So you want to be able to share behind the scenes. Just because something looks easy on the outside doesn't mean it was easy to put together. And that's exactly what I was explaining to that one client. Oh, yeah, it looks perfect because we made it that way on purpose. And we have all these fail safes in case things don't go the way we want on show site, because you only get one chance. You only get one chance to make it right. All right, just keep that in mind. And then consistent publishing, right? Use automation tools like Go High Level for your social posts and your emails and make them look professional, and demonstrating the same reliability in marketing that you can bring to performances. So the cleaner you look on your marketing, the easier it is to sell somebody. And then basically you want to make sure to have all your angles covered so your marketing looks good. You go out there and do a banger up job. The professional word right there. Then you're off to the races for making your company a contract producing company rather than, a DJ company. But yeah, again, it's all about separating yourself from the 400 or 500 other companies that are there. Boom. Put myself in the center there. All right. So strategy number 2, social proof stacking. What does that mean? Venue credentials. Strategically name drop professional venues and long-term contracts in your marketing materials, like the big things that you've done. Make sure to tell the world. So again, when we go back to the 4 different buyer types, prestigious is like the easiest one to convey. It's kind of like, whoa, I DJ'd for the mayor. It must be good enough for you. Right? So easy to say, like to rattle that off, rather than, well, since I've been in this business for 20 years and haven't missed an event, doesn't mean that you're good. It just means that you're reliable, right? But if you're like, oh yeah, I DJed for the mayor, well then, if you're good enough to DJ for the mayor or something like that, or opened up for national acts, or been flown to another country to do something, then should work for you, right? And again, it just depends on how long you've been in the career and how many badges you have, right? So, and then again, client testimonials. This is another way to stack up social proof. The more client testimonials you have, or Google reviews, the easier it is to say something like, well, if all these other people liked me, I'm sure I'll do a good job for you. So if it's just like stacks up in your favor, right? And you can start to see how these things play out, and how you could get into a difficult conversation with somebody, and you'll be able to bounce out because you'll have all this stuff prepared for however the conversation goes. Up next, experienced timeline. Create visual representations of your career trajectory, right? Highlighting how your years of experience translate to value for clients and venues. Now, I don't know where you guys are at with your career, or if you're just starting out, if you've been in the game a while, but if you're not vocal about, your path and how you've improved, then I don't think anybody else is going to care about you as much as you care about yourself. And well, when you create empathy, then they will start to care about you. How do we do enforced empathy? Well, let's say you have a price that you give to your client, and then your client comes back and says half that price. Well, enforced empathy is something along the lines of, well, how am I supposed to make that happen? It's not like you told them no. You just said, hey, how am I supposed to make that happen? So now they have to jump into your shoes and figure out if what they counter-offered made any sense. Because then you'll have to explain, well, I have advertising budget. I have other expenses that run a business. I might have a warehouse, and the list goes on. And you can say, well, and if I do half the price, then I only have time for money. So I have to make every minute count, that kind of thing. And then, you make sure these land gently. But your response in the opening line should be, how am I supposed to make that happen? Man, I'd love to do this for you, but how am I supposed to do this? And then they start to see things from your perspective. All right, that's a good one. All right, so up next, I love these AI generated images. They're amazing. All right, strategy number 3, premium positioning, right? How are your, contracts and offers made, right? So value-based pricing is what I do, all right? Price yourself as a seasonal professional, not a commodity. Avoid competing on price with weekend warriors. I mean, oh yeah, this other guy will do it for $500. Why won't you? Well, we don't need the gig as bad as he does, right? Because we'll wait for somebody who does have the money for our services to come along, that kind of thing. Professional standards. Well, does this other person have, insurance or contracts, backup equipment, professional staff? If you just cut corners on your big day, who are you really hurting? You're not going to hurt me because you didn't give me the gig. You're going to hurt yourself because you hired someone that was subpar, and then setting clear examples like, oh, well, I've done this professional gig. I've worked for this theme park, I mean, if you want to go with somebody who's probably newer and less expensive, I mean, how well do you think that party's actually going to go? Let's just run through that real quick and see if you're okay with it. And then, of course, how do you have your packages kind of like made, right? So I know they really do push for people to have packages and then to give them a name like classic package or elegant. I mean, I don't really have packages per se. In fact, I even throw stones at people that do have like these complicated packages, because I'll say something along the lines of, you're trying to alley cart your way to a discount. So basically, a package could be complicated. Like, oh, there's a monogram, but I don't want that. Yet I want uplights, and that's in this other package. And how can I add this and then, get rid of this? And they end up trying to make their own package based on what they want. And instead of like making it complicated where they have to do all this type of, weird type of math, I just say, hey, look, tell me all the things that you want. We'll throw a discount on the end of it and then go from there. And it allows me to throw stones at people who do have packages where it's like, I don't want you to, come up with all this weird a la carte math and then end up losing in the long run. Because that's no good, right? Nobody wants that. All right. Strategy number 4. Strategery. Professional systems, make sure to explain that you have professional systems. And if you don't have them, we can get you there. We got links in the video, right? Consistent branding. Like how are you looking? Did you get a logo made from somebody from Fever, or did you have your friend make it and you're keeping it because you don't want to hurt their feelings? Email marketing. I got another video inside the YouTube channel to tell you how to make some professional looking emails with Go High Level. Just scroll back a little bit. And then automation. Plenty of videos on the YouTube channel. Make sure to go find those. And then we can, break down the scary wall of automation and how it all plays out. So again, boom. In an unregulated industry, your brand becomes your credentials. So, you're as good as your last show, right? Marketing separates professionals from pretenders. So the more serious you are about your career, the more serious people will take you. And then, of course, take action to build your longevity. It's a hustle every day. So, again, it's a hustle every day. Just keep working at it. And once you have your success, people will be asking you how you did it. And you'll be too busy to answer because you'll be going to do more. You guys have been amazing. Thanks for watching the video. Again, there was 4 strategies in here. Systematic brand building, right? Premium positioning, social proof stacking, and content that builds authority. You guys have been great. I'll catch you on the next video or watch one of these ones that I tag. All right, bye.